Previously on Miss President.
International environments are very unpredictable and there are surprises there, and I guess that is what this evening is all about.
Many world leaders say that you do not negotiate with terrorists. I also subscribe to that.
And I grew up in a village in Tarakaniti County, and I never had gunshots before.
We stretch them every week, and I think this week we really did stretch them. Just a slight number really got the assignment right.
Can we talk for a minute? 'Cause I'd like to know your names. Skillful communication can increase stakeholder support for governance, reform, objectives, influencing opinion, attitude, and behavior changes. Communication tools can also enhance citizen engagement with various governing bodies. The competition is getting tougher. No more hiding within the comfort of a group, as from now on, the contestants are presenting as individuals to eliminate or not to eliminate. That's a question we ask and leave entirely to the judge's discretion. The results, we will never know until we know.
Over 700 applications were received from all over Kenya, and from these, 350 contestants were shortlisted. After a series of auditions, over 50 women were selected, and they will now battle it out of the academy for the coveted title of Miss President. In the race to be elected Miss President, we have the following contestants.
The closer I'm getting closer to winning Miss President, the more complicated, unpredictable, emotionally involving it becomes. And the level of uncertainty is reaching a point where now I'm just thinking, wow.
The more they leave, the smaller the number gets. And the smaller the number gets as we're drawing closer to the end, the more aware you are that competition is getting stiff.
We're being hardened like diamond. We're being cooked and fried to be better as Miss President.
Christine Mweteli is a communication and etiquette expert. She is the founder of Soft Skills Limited, a training consultancy firm based in Nairobi, and which provides training programs to organizations all across Africa. Christine is also the published author of 4 books including Play to Win and The Guts to Be Me, and produces weekly videos on her YouTube channel, Learning Aloud.
There is no time when you're not communicating. Even when I'm sitting on the side saying nothing, I'm still communicating, all right? Now we want to talk about when you're intentionally communicating, when you're in front of people, when you're making a speech, because that's a large part of leadership. You are only as good a leader as how you communicate. The way I speak to you, and I do speak for a living, is not the way I speak to a group of students. You tweak your content, you tweak your presentation style to suit A, your message, B, the audience, all right? The first thing that you want to do is to grab the attention of the audience from the first minute. As soon as you stand up, you have to grab the attention. The way I look must give you the explanation of why am I in front and 1,000 of you are in the audience. All right? Remember what we are trying to do is we are trying to develop your personal style. Use of stories. What does a story do? A story helps me to relate to you. Because you're this candidate who is running for this office, like you're way up there in the eyes of the audience, remember? But when you tell us you slept hungry and that's why you're so passionate about food, those are things that people are now able to relate with, all right? This is your assignment. I want you to introduce yourself to a hostile audience, all right? You decide the audience. Use a story to introduce yourself to this hostile audience. Find oneness with the audience using your story. sell your agenda to the audience that shows you or your project as the preferred. Remember, we said you're not reading. You're going to prepare, rehearse with one another, rehearse in front of the mirror, do whatever you need to do, but do a presentation that warms the heart of a hostile audience to turn them towards you. Now, included in this challenge is how you look. You need to choose what you're wearing, and you will also need to understand why you chose what you're wearing, why you chose the garment, the colors, the style of dress that you chose for that specific speech and for that specific audience.
It's Ladies' Day Out. They're getting themselves all pimped and prepped because it's all about communication, presentation, and etiquette. So join us as we go and see what the ladies are up to. Come along.
Seeing young people again working and doing all the creativity, getting nails done, sort of reminded me of the reason why we are here, to create environments for such businesses to thrive.
I've never been in Lavington before, especially shopping, and I had a good experience as an individual. And compared to the trip that we had in Kibera, for me, it made the inequalities look very real.
And as you can see, it's Miss President and it's the Ladies' Day Out. They're looking spectacular, amazing. They're getting ready to present, clearly. And you never really know? Until you know. And now, you know.
Where are you going to carry your notes?
I'm a superwoman. Hey, superwoman, superwoman, superwoman.
Today, each member will present as an individual. The contestants have had to prepare their presentations based on this week's topic. Whose presentation will stand out, and who will fail to convince the judges and fellow contestants in the academy? Stay tuned to find out.
Our judges for this season are...
My name is Dr. Zipi Okoth. I am a lecturer at KCA University, a gender consultant, an award-winning filmmaker, and the founding director of the Lake International Pan-African Film Festival. I am looking for one who is informed, bold, visionary, and has a unique leadership predisposition.
My name is Jerry Kireni. I am a policy advisor and researcher and a passionate advocate for women's advancement. I'll be looking for courage, determination, and excellence. I will be kind but firm, as I feel at the Academy there is no room for mediocrity.
My name is Kevin Osido. I am an accomplished governance specialist who serves as the Executive Director of County Governance Watch, whose purpose is to provide solutions for socio-economic and political development in the counties of Kenya. And we do this by educating and building the capacity of citizens and county government officials. I am also very keen on driving service delivery through public participation spaces in the counties of the Republic of Kenya.
Imagine when 27 schools are closed suddenly. Imagine 11 health centers are closed suddenly. Imagine 5 market centers are closed suddenly. My people, that is the case of the people of Moroni at their border with the Nandi. The leaders of the Nandi community, thank you very much for honoring my invite. Our youth have been vulnerable. They have been used to to torture houses, to burn sugarcane plantations of up to 200 acres every election year. The people of Nandi, we depend on each other. You sell us your milk, we sell you our fish. We have to protect each other as a people. That is why I am here today to urge us as a people that even as we head to election, let us be sensitive to the words we tell to our young people. Let us not use our young people as agents of division during this period of election. Daima mimi Mkenya, mwananchi mzalendo. Thank you.
Katiba ya Kenya inamruhusu mwananchi ama inampatia mwananchi haki ya kuweza kushiriki kikamilifu katika shughuli za serikali. Na nitaanza na kisa hiki. Mwaka uliopita tulikuwa katika kaunti ya Taita Taveta kufanya shughuli zetu. Tulipokuwa tukiangalia, tukaenda kwenye kijiji kimoja kinaitwa Lushangoni kule ndani. Tulipofika kule, kaunti hiyo ilikuwa inafanya ushiriki wa jamaa ama public participation ya masuala ya bajeti. Lakini walipofika pale, maafisa wa kaunti walikuja na makaratasi, bajeti, policy papers, kila ambacho wanasema, lakini zilikuwa kwa lugha ya Kiingereza. Na waliokuwa pale ni wazee, akina mama, akina baba, hawajasoma, hawafahamu lugha ya Kiingereza. Wale maafisa wakajaribu kueleza, wakajaribu kufafanua, lakini hatimaye wale wananchi hawakuelewa. Mheshimiwa Rais, kama inawezekana, sera ipitishwe kwamba kila hotuba ambayo unayofanya katika hafla za kitaifa iwe kwa lugha ya Kiswahili. Na kama haiwezekani, basi kuwe na tafsiri ya lugha ya Kiswahili. Mheshimiwa Spika wa Bunge na mabunge mengine, ninaomba kwamba vikao vya bunge, angalau vikao, nusu ya vile vikao, viwe kwa lugha ya Kiswahili ili mwananchi ambaye mnamwakilisha aweze kuelewa. Asanteni kwa kunipa fursa hii na naomba kwamba kuweze kuwa na mabadiliko haya. Shukrani sana.
Wacha ni washo. Mimi najua machum zote za Ndom zile ziko Tharaka Nithi County. Hakuna kona ile mnajua ya Gonde ile mimi sijui. Mimi ni ule msee. I can talk a lot about drugs, but let me tell you a story about my brother. My brother was so nice. We went to school together and we had fun together. But he fell in the wrong troop and he started taking drugs. And it really affected my brother. My brother joined a gang. And I remember on the 13th of November 2013, there was a gang that was shot by the police, only to realize 3 days later that my brother was among the gang. I wish we realized early that my brother was struggling with drugs. If only, hizi ndio vitu zinaringingi kwa mind yangu. Regrets kila wakati. Bro yangu hakuwa na second chance. Lakini the fact that tumeketi hapa sisi wote, tuko na second chance. Kama uko na stress, ama uko na issue yote, niongeleshe. Na ukiona haunioni, call toll free number yetu 1234. Tuendelee kucommunicate na kila kitu itakuwa sawa. Asanteni na shukran sana.
Wananchi Otiende na Mudiri, habari zenu? Nimeelewa jinsi unasema, governor anataka kuuza shamba, governor anajenga nyumba ili aende nayo, governor anasema nini. Nimewaelewa, lakini nataka kuwaelezea kwa nini tumefanya hivi. Mwaka wa 1963 Kenya ilipata uhuru, si ndio? Waziri wa kwanza wa elimu, nyumba na mambo ya familia, social services, alikuwa anaitwa Joseph Otiende. Yeye alijenga nyumba nyingi huko Nairobi na akajenga zingine hapa Kakamega. Ndio kwa sababu wakazi Otiende hapo panaitwa Otiende Estate. Ni kwa sababu waziri Joseph Otiende alifanya kazi. Ndio kwa sababu mimi gavana wenu niliposhikilia uongozi, nilisema ni wajibu wangu nisimame nijitolee. Hizo nyumba za asbestos huko Otiende tubadilishe. Hizo nyumba za mabati hapa Mudiri tubadilishe. Tukijenga hizo nyumba, investor atajenga, county itampatia shamba. watu wa kwanza watapewa kipaumbele ni nyinyi. Nipigieni makofi sasa. Ni nyinyi mtapewa ili muweze kuishi katika hizo nyumba. Tusipokuwa pamoja, mwekezaji atatutoroka. Mnataka tutoroke? Mnataka mwekezaji atoroke? Kwa hivyo nawasihi, nawabembeleza, nawaomba mama zangu, ndugu zangu, wazee, tukuje pamoja tufanye kazi.
Woza. Yepa. Woza. Yepa. Tetemesha. Ground. Tetemesha. Ground. Asanteni sana vijana. Sasa mimi najua kama vijana kwa miaka mingi sana hamjakuwa mkipiga kura. Na kura yenu ni muhimu sana kwa sababu ni kuinua maisha yenu. Tarehe 9 mwezi wa 9 na waomba twende tupige kura sisi sote. Kura itabadilisha maisha yetu, itabadilisha maisha ya kila mtu. Mimi kama president wenu, mimi ni youth kama nyinyi. Nakumbuka mimi nimeishi hapa Kariobangi hapa. Nimeishi hapo miaka mingi sana. Lakini sasa mimi kama mama yenu nataka kubadilisha maisha yenu. Nataka tuishi vizuri. Na tukienda kwenye ground tunaenda kupiga kura 6 piece. Kila mtu awe wa chama yetu. Tulieni msikie kwa nini nawaeleza kwamba tupige 6 piece. Kwa sababu nikiingia pale kwenye bunge nitahitaji jeshi langu. Na hii jeshi nitapata kutoka kwa wale watu mtakuwa mmepigia kura. Ndio tupitize bill zote zitakuja kuwafaidi nyinyi. Mwangaza Party, tupate senator, tupate governor, tupate MCA, ndio kazi iwe sawa sawa. Tusifikirie Nairobi tu peke yake. Kule mashinani tuanze kule. Asanteni. Na walombotovu nyote. Asante.
Leo nimekuja hapa kwa sababu ujumbe ulinifikia kwamba kuna kina baba na mama hapa Nyadhona Ward ambao wako na wasiwasi kuhusu ugombeaji wangu. Wanataka ndio uongozi ubadilike, lakini wanajiuliza ataweza kweli? Tulikuwa tunaambiwa hadithi ya mwekezaji duka moja ambaye alikuwa amesumbuliwa sana na panya. Akaona hawa panya wamezidi, wacha nilete paka. Akaleta paka. Naye paka akawahangaisha panya kweli mpaka ikabidi waite mkutano. Baada ya kujadiliana wakaona paka hawekwe kengele. Ili kila wakati anaposonga kengele italia, panya watajua adui waja, watoroke. Mwishowe ni panya mdogo ambaye aliweza kwenda akamongelesha paka na maneno matamu, paka akadanganywa kengele ni ushanga, akakubali kuivaa na shida za panya zikatatuliwa. Tuachie hiyo hadithi hapo. Nilivyosimama mbeleni leo kama Njoki, mimi ni wakili. Kwa hivyo mambo ya sheria naelewa. Ili niweze kusimama mbele yenu kama wazazi wangu. Sauti ninayo ama sina? Unayo. Ninayo ama sina? Unayo. Turudi kwa hadithi yetu. Mnakumbuka yule paka? Yule paka ni shida za Kabete. Na mnakumbuka ile kengele? Kengele ni suluhisho za wanakabete. Alafu mnakumbuka yule panya mdogo? Panya mdogo ndiye huyu hapa. Ningependa kukuhudumia wewe kama mkazi wa Kabete. Upate huduma ya uwazi.
It's a fundraising gala dinner. I'm meeting with the business community and entrepreneurs in Kwale County. I want to beseech them to come on board to support me to ensure that I become the first female governor of the county. Diversity is like being invited to a party. But inclusion is like being asked to dance. I learned this the hard way. In 1997, somebody slipped a note on our front door. And the note said, "We know in here you are harboring someone of a different race. You have 24 hours to either get rid of them or you become victims. We move to another town." Children had to separate from their parents. My parting shot with my mother that day was, "You have to take care of your brother." I was only 8 years old. We went to a strange home. And I had to do everything to make sure I do not offend the host. Because if we were chased, we did not have a second choice. I have understood the price it takes to overlook diversity. Today, I don't want anyone to live in fear.
We've heard about the Day of the African Child so many times that it is indeed time for us, Kenya, to celebrate our own children. When the call came out of an innovative way in which we can celebrate climate and children in Kenya, the first school that responded is a school that I schooled in, Cameo Primary School. I'm very excited to be here. What I remember is a teacher called Mrs. Bondeni drumming in my head every time, the ozone layer, the ozone layer, the ozone layer. For the teacher to tell me the ozone layer itapata mashimo and there will be a lot of sun on the ground did not make sense. But now I look back nostalgically and run with this course because I know there is something I didn't do that I want all of us to do. We have borrowed this environment from our children. We have to give it back when it is good or better than how we borrowed it from them because they are the future generation. The other item that we are going to do as a government is that the community champions of climate will have an opportunity to work in my government and have international exposure to go and learn from countries that have done it better. May this remind you as it grows in your home that you have a commitment to climate.
I am a very, very proud alumni of this university. And once a comrade, always a comrade. Comrades power! I think I saw some of your leaders issuing a press conference over the fee increment notice that was given to you. And I saw you giving your administration an ultimatum that if nothing was done, you will go into a demonstration. I was a student when demos were demos, and we called for the mother of all demonstrations. What happens? Windows are broken, comrades are arrested, and there was lots and lots and lots of tear gas. So what does the university do? It shuts down. And this time for 6 months. And when you go back home, is when now you go and see the poverty you left back at home. When you go back home is when you see the siblings who look up to you. And that is when reality kicks in. Number 1, depression. Number 2, others went into alcoholism. Number 3, others just never recovered from that. Just remember that you are the future for this country. And so you don't just need your education alone, but you also need your determination to show, your social skills, your emotional intelligence. Develop them right now. Thank you very much. God bless you. Comrades power!
Nataka kusema asante sana for the leadership in this church kwa kunipa tai nafasi kidogo tu kuzungumza. I can see the shocked look on your faces, manake naelewa tulisema tutaki wanasiasa, especially hii wakati wa siasa. But hii ndio kanisa ambayo ilinikuza kiukristo wakati nilikuwa mdogo. And today I am very happy to come back and fellowship with you. I remember this day when I was in a campaign trail and someone tried to strip me. And that evening, I was talking to my mom, and my mom was like, Bina, is it even worth it? Ni lazima uingie kwa siasa. Hatuna pesa, una maisha tunaishi. But every other morning, I think about women like my mom. I think about the women in Badili Africa, the organization that I run. They have to be in like 3 to 4 chamas so they can put food on the table. And that is the reality ya wamama wengi sana wenye yako hapa. And that is why I decided I'm going to run for this office. We cannot afford to sit on the fence as a church. Sai mafuta imepanda, inatu affect ama haitu affect? A vote for me is a vote for safety, is a vote for decent work for our youth, and is a vote for financial inclusion and resources for our women in the community. Asante sana.
Allow me to give you my story, women. I know you may not know, but I went into standing as an MCA. And one reason was that I wanted to make West Assembly Ward a model ward to prove that devolution works, because I had worked in the office of the governor and I knew the twists that are in the devolution process. Drama started on the nomination day. I voted. Polling, I voted myself. In the evening, I was told that polling station had 0. I was broken. I was seriously broken. I did not know who to turn to. So women, I understand you. When you come here as angry as you are, I understand you. Because why would we be told, go outside there in that space? But then there is this that made me stand up. I said I was not going to disappoint the women that are behind me. Because we have women who went ahead of us, created space for us. If they lost hope today, we would not be standing here. So I said, I'm not going to lose hope. I will still stand. Go out there in your village because you are a leader. We are not asking to be given pity party posts. We are women and we are able to stand out on our own. And last but not least, women, we are known to sing. Tell yourself, I'm a superwoman. I'm a Come on, Ringa. Superwoman, superwoman.
The only thing I want you to remember about Isiolo is they are nomadic queens like me. At the age of 18, I started my first business, and my high school teacher said, "You're over-ambitious, girl." And I was like, what did I do wrong? And at 24 years old, I had finished my law school. I had already graduated. And at 27, I started my current second business, which is a Holby Training Solution, which is to empower young people, non-literates, marginalized communities. I am a daughter of a camel herder who strived hard to get to where he is. Subsequently, I had more and more. I was now on the World Trade Organization, World Public Forum. I knew that my life will prevail, that I'm not meant to fail. In the dark, I sailed. And that's who I want you to remember. And that's what embodies each and every girl coming from my community. We're not defined by our problems, our dusty rocks, our pain. The same way you shouldn't be defined by any of that. Thank you.
What I'm seeing, talking to each one of the contestants this week, is they're on edge and tense, and one can feel the anxiety of the academy. Let us see what the judges and today's trainer have to say about today's performance in the reflections room.
Many of the contestants did it very well, putting in a little story, testimonial stories, personal touch into the stories. And even the eloquence in which they were speaking, I think, was very nice. I also liked that they understood each topic that they picked, because there was that freedom to pick whichever topic. Hearing them speak in such a personal way, I think for me that one was really beautiful.
All I can say is, wow, wow, wow. At this stage of the competition, I feel very honored and proud to sit as a judge on this show, because today's show and the performance of the contestants is a testimony of the amount of work they've put in, how much they have continued to improve, and the fact that they're actually listening to us. I feel very good. Today's judging was not easy, and even our deliberations are going to be even a lot harder. I say kudos to all the contestants.
A lot of times you don't see our women politicians containing the heat, especially when it comes to speaking to crowds that are not friendly. But listening to the contestants and the different hostile grounds that they described really shows that they understand the kind of task that they are coming forward to get involved in. And the aspect that most of them actually picked personal stories, and one of them even shed tears, really speaks a lot in terms of what this particular training means to them. And so to me, it really shows that even at this point in time, people are able to get involved, get engaged, and communicate their personal stories to the outside world.
All of them did really well. They got emotional, like Judge Zippy has said. We got people actually shedding tears, telling us personal stories and getting us to relate with them. So we were playing the hostile audience, but for the majority of the time, we were able to be turned towards their agenda. All of them were persuasive, all of them were interesting. They held our attention. I don't remember at any one time my attention drifting while a presenter was speaking. The choice of attire was excellent. I really am proud of what they've done. I'm very proud.
Sadly for some, that time we all know has come. The anxiety, the sadness that comes with having to say goodbye to many years of shared moments, smiles, jokes, prayers, morning inspirations, and much more. So, who is going home tonight? The judges have deliberated, have made their decision, and remember, their decision is final.
For the most part, I found myself sitting at the edge of my seat, leaning forward, because all of you are really engaging. All of you are really engaging. There was one or two things which we were not happy with. You're never not communicating. We've said that a lot of the times. Even when you're trying to rally up the crowd, even by not commenting on something, whatever it is that you're doing is influencing people, and therefore you want to be very careful what you say, because people follow what you say. But overall, I thought that was excellent, and of course we also judged you based on what you wore and for what reason you wore it. So those are my comments at this point.
I'd like to give the first chance to Judge Njeri to give her comments.
Watching you today, I loved how much you personalized your stories. I got to see your characters as individuals, and I got to even learn about your passions, because some of the things you said were raw and true, and that's truly how to connect with your audience and your constituencies. Congratulations to you all. You have come very far. I'm going to call the following up. Milka Riga, please come forward. Farhia Jama, Dr. Frida Karani, Annabelle Njoki. So I'll begin with you, Annabelle. You have been brought forward many times. It's important that you relax. You know what you're doing, even though you are young, and even though people challenge you, you know what you're doing. Great leaders start early. Well done. Please be seated. Frida Karani. You're passionate about children. I can see that. You were articulate, you were engaging, and I thoroughly enjoyed your presentation. And I know that your constituency, those who are watching you on TV, are also very proud of you. Please have a seat. Farhia, you called yourself a queen. Indeed you are. I love your fashion sense. You were absolutely beautiful today. Unfortunately, I asked myself, what were you trying to communicate? Because you started one bit of the story, moved to another one, and I didn't see the connection. Yet I saw your creativity, because you're a poet. But I would have liked to see you connecting your stories. I didn't see that. Milka, color red suits you. You are very, very articulate in Kiswahili. I enjoyed listening to you. You were speaking to a hostile audience. That is what the assignment required you to do. But we didn't see where the hostility is, where the challenge for you would have been, were it a real-life situation. But given that, I think you need another chance. And that's what we as the judges agreed. Please have a seat. Farhia, please stand aside.
I'd like to call the following forward. Angel Mbodia, Ashura Michael, Bina Maseno, and Pauline Onguko. Angel, you had a very lovely topic. You brought about the issue of students and comrade power, and I think you also touched a very sensitive topic of student strike. When you mentioned the tear gas and all, I was like, where is this going? But the way you turned around that story was beautiful. The fact of people going home and regretting, I think that was a very good reflection. The crisis came out very well, and we felt the power in you. Bina, we liked that you picked an audience that most people would not easily pick. When people think about giving talks, they don't think about the church. And I think that was very powerful. And that used very relatable characters and also good audience involvement. That was nice, yeah. Pauline Onguko, speech to women leaders. You're a very powerful speaker for women leaders. You used your personal example, which was very, very nice, and we could feel when you voted for yourself. And they said that it was 0 votes for Pauline. I think that was as painful as much as it was funny. You get it? But you also clearly stated a cause on championing girls. You know, so that as solutions to this issue of women leaders, so that people can start looking at women leaders differently. Ashura, you met the youth from Mwangaza Party, and you were talking to us, you gave us a very good crisis that you gave direct ticket. Some people are given direct ticket and they did not want to vote 6Ps. But when you spoke to the youth, propaganda and the violence, why the violence at the end? This is the language of jeshi langu. That is language of violence, you get it? Women leaders, we must learn to use our strongest point, and our strongest power that we have against the men is our empathy and emotions. Let's use it. You get what I mean? Yes, it's our power. So it is not a weakness. So let's use that. Then the background claps and noise. At first it was very nice, but hey, it became too much and distracting. And it made us wonder, is that really what happens on the ground? Let us be able to have an audience and control that audience so that they listen to our most important points, not just cheering us. Bina Maseno, sit down. Pauline Onguko, sit down. Angel Mbuthia, step aside. Ashura Michael, step aside. I would like to now call our next judge, Kevin. Yes.
Thank you so much, Chief Judge. Remember that a leader who cannot communicate cannot lead. The reason why you're called a leader is because there are people following you. How you do that is through communication. Communication can either be verbal or non-verbal. It is not just what is said, it is also what is heard and what is seen. Therefore, I would wish to call upon Esperance Jean, Lydia Monica, Muchunku Kawira, and Nuru Mohammed. Esperance, your delivery in terms of the content, you are able to persuade, these warring communities to look at each other's brother and keeper, sister, uncle, daughter. However, I kept asking myself, what is wrong with Esperance's left leg? Is that how you want to speak in front of people? Like if some bit of bee bites you, you want to stop and tell people, nimomwa na nyuki ebu ngoja ni sugue. The non-verbal issues in communication. That was an issue to me. Lydia, Monica. I liked this story about two estates, Otiende and Mudiri, but I was asking myself, despite the story that you presented of Otiende in 1963, where is the space of Lydia in all this sport? Why her? Is it because she's a governor? But there probably are other better issues for the governor to deal with as opposed to this. So that personal aspect of the story to me was missing. Kawira Muchunku, you did very well today. The way you showed up with a lot of power, vigor, and you maintained it until the end of the show, that really to me presented the fact that you have internalized your communication skills, you are building yourself, you are growing every day. Your dressing was on point, and you gave the stories of your family members, and that really made it relatable, and you were able to pick up the personal aspects of this story, issues around substance abuse, and even, gelled very nicely with the kind of audience that you had. So that was really good in my perspective. Nuru Mohammed. you are very, very on point in terms of your dressing, but I thought your presentation was more poetic as opposed to bringing out the power that the business community expected to see, particularly given the kind of context that you painted. I was looking forward to some hope. What is the assurance that business will be better with your leadership? What is the confidence that you have that investors are going to come to Kwale County when you are voted in as their first female governor? Of course, there was an emotional aspect of it, where I even shed tears when you told us about 13th August 1997. But you dwelt so much on that as opposed to turning it now, which really should have been able to excite anyone listening to you and watching you to be able to consider Kwale County as a county of hope. So ladies and ladies, Monica Lydia, Muchunku Kawira, you can sit. And then Nuru and Esperance, step aside.
Picky, picky, ponky, pacamelo disco. I hope this is not how the judges will select who stays and who is going this week. Now, it's time to know who stays and who leaves.
The following will stay, the following will go home. Nuru Mohammed, we will give you another chance in the academy. Ashura Michael, we'll give you another chance in the academy. Faria Jama, because today's assignment was on communication, you didn't communicate. And for that reason, we'll let you go home.
I love the fact that I'm living like a queen because my power is within me. For you to grow to the next stage, you need to be stretched and you need the right environment. And this was the space that I was looking for. And I love it being here. So thank you so much. And I really appreciate all of you.
Angel, both here. Angel, we need to feel who is Angel outside campus. You are in the academy because of the present that you have. Can we hear more of your community work, more of your professional engagement? Because that is what we need to hear. Esperance. Esperance, you're very nice and soft, but sometimes even as a leader who is nice and soft, we need to feel your power. Can we feel that power in your voice? And some of the ways in which you can work on the power of your voice is simply through posture. Yeah. If you stand like this, no matter what you do, the voice will be soft. If you stand like that, without wavering, the voice will come out strong. It's those simple, simple things. For that reason, Esperance will let you go home. Angel Mbuthia, we will give you another chance with a warning. Grow. Enjoy your youth, but grow out of it.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Humbled and indebted. Slightly disappointed because I know there are lots of expectations from people out there. But we rise like Maya Angelou. Still I rise. Thank you.
And our best speaker for the day is Pauline Ongoko. Pauline, your speech just caught us. And indeed, I am a super. Exactly. So thank you so much. You made us feel included in your speech from the very beginning. We felt your power, we felt your message, and it was well balanced from the motion to the agenda to the closure. Congratulations. All right. Ladies,
In the academy, the game is going to change. You are the top 10, and this is an academy of women leaders. We are looking for your unique leadership predisposition. It is not about how people lead out there. It's not about how you think people expect you to lead. It's about how you believe a great leader should be. So if you have nothing you believe in, then you have nothing to share as a leader. You are top 10 for a reason. With that, we continue with our search for the next Miss President.
As today's battle comes to an end, here is a quick reminder of who has left the academy and who is still in the competition.
It's been such a journey. You know, in every competition, you have to strain beyond the ordinary. The most satisfying thing is knowing you did your best. In every aspect, I want to be remembered as that girl from Kisumu who gave her best in everything she did.
Not every day is your winning day. Some days we win, some days we lose. Today, me living is not a coincidence. God knew why I really needed to live now, because He's preparing me for the next level of my life.
Well, emerging the best was something that really has motivated me, but again has made me know that I need to work better. Let it not get into my head, just as the judges always say, so that you improve with each day to be able to be perfect.
As this group of women continues on the long and grueling journey that will demand their very best, we can only cheer and urge them to put their best foot forward. I challenge you now with this quote from the author and poet Catherine Pulsifer. Communication is one of the most important skills you require for a successful life. Thoughts, opinions, compliments, suggestions? Tweet us on @media_focus. Find us on Facebook @MFA Media Focus Africa. Check us out on Instagram @Media Focus in Africa. This show will be uploaded to YouTube. To view this episode and other episodes, including the full training session, kindly click on the link provided to access the Miss President YouTube channel. And remember to click, like, and subscribe to the only show where you never really know until you know.